This is part 1 of our Let's Play series for Breath of the Wild, and I gotta say I'm super excited to be talking about this game. We waited long enough for it to come out, and so I think Hick and I can both say we're very excited to be talking about it. But here in part 1, all that's really going to happen is Link is going to wake up, we're going to get the Sheikah Slate, a set of clothes, we're going to meet the old man and learn a little bit about the Temple of Time.
Yep. Oh, I thought you were going to keep on going a little bit there, but I kind of thought you were going to go to the next point. But like you said, it's so good. Like, I'm so glad that we're kind of taking a break from Oracle of Ages, and we've been doing that lately. It's kind of just, we need to get away from that game. But I'm with you, Red. So far, I forgot to look and see how many hours I've actually played this game, but I put quite a few hours into this game already. There's some things that I would love a lot about it. There's some things I don't like so much, and we'll kind of talk about that. But you kind of just want to talk about it being a Let's Play and how we're kind of going to go about this differently than we do our other videos.
Yeah, so obviously we didn't do any like prepping for our walkthroughs or things like that. So unlike those, you're actually going to see us screw up a little bit. You'll see us killing time, messing around, maybe not necessarily getting anything done in a few of these parts, and believe it or not, we may even die a couple of times in these games, and so it's a Let's Play, so it's going to be a little rough around the edges, but we'll try to make sure that hopefully we get something done in just about every part.
It's obviously a blind Let's Play as the game just came out. Sometimes you do a Let's Play, but you actually know how to go through the game. This being a new game, we don't know anything about it or how to go, and you kind of joking about dying. You are going to die many times. Like, I don't know how many times you've actually died in your playthroughs, but I'm approaching probably 100 already. It's just a lot more difficult game, and we're going to try to, as we go along, we're going to try not to do too many spoilers, but we kind of will talk about, maybe try to give you some advice of things we've seen so far and stuff like that, but we're going to try to do our best to stay away from the spoilers. But as you know, sometimes conversations, certain things come up, so it is what it is, but we'll do our best.
Now, like you said, you mentioned how many times you've died. I've been the same way, and I gotta say, I kind of like, it's refreshing how difficult this game can be in terms of health. I mean, like, falling can like kill you so quickly. Enemies can kill you with one hit here in the early stages of the game, and we haven't had a Zelda game this difficult, I don't think, since maybe the old Nintendo, the original NES ones. And we kind of lamented that a little bit back when we were playing Link Between Worlds. As much as we loved that game, it was really easy. So for us to finally be playing a Zelda game that really does punish you for screwing up or for rushing into things unprepared, it really is a nice change of pace.
Like I said, so far I really love this game. It's I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say it's one of the best, it probably is one of the best Zelda games already. I can say that. I don't know if it's the best Zelda game yet, but if I kind of seem frustrated or kind of down a little bit on Breath of the Wild, it's kind of like I was telling Red before this commentary. It's kind of like having a fight with your wife. Like, you love her, but like sometimes you just get frustrated. In the last two nights of me playing Breath of the Wild, like, I've just kind of gotten frustrated. And we'll kind of talk about that advice. Like, in this game, it's like a whole different formula than like other Zelda games. It's kind of similar to the original Zelda, but still a lot different. Like, you have weapons that break. Instead of getting hearts like out of jars and enemies, now we have to collect food. And like, you can eat that food to get hearts. You can make food, they're called elixirs in this game, to like, you know, give you more hearts and just various things like that. The game is so much different than other Zelda games.
It really is, and part of me is okay with that. It's like, I'm glad they're trying something new. I mean, like, they're still keeping the general like look and feel, and you know, we're still Link, still trying to save Hyrule, all that good stuff. But I'm glad they're trying new ideas. But the couple of things you mentioned, like the breakable weapons that you'll see here in this part, and making the potions, I think are almost too much of a departure from traditional Zelda games. And they just really add some, not necessarily frustration. Okay, it is frustration sometimes.
Oh, I agree. I've been frustrated with the game, like I said. Like, that doesn't. It's not really taking. I'm not trying to take away from the game at all. I'm just saying, like, it's a new formula, and I'm trying to learn that new formula for Zelda game. And it's unlike anything we've ever like experienced, and I'm glad that Nintendo actually took it in a different direction, gave us something that really feels totally new in a Zelda game.
But for all the complaining we've kind of done here in the last minute, this moment where we step out of, I believe it's called the Resurrection Chamber.
A Shrine of Resurrection.
There you go. The moment we step out of this and into the open world, and we just get a view, and I jumped the gun here because I thought we were going to go ahead and walk out the door. It's fine. But we get a view of almost the entire game world right off the bat, and it really gives you an idea of not just like the scope of this world that we get to explore, but also just how beautiful it really is. And just the thought of having this open world Zelda game where once we get off this central plateau that we start on, we can go almost anywhere in this world. We might die for doing it.
Yeah.
It's such a great opening shot here when we leave the Shrine of Resurrection.
I remember saying almost that same quote, we might die doing it, with the original Legend of Zelda. We were talking about it during our game ranking. But anyways, as you saw right there, and you probably already know if you've heard anything about this game, there is climbing in this game. We'll talk about it many times throughout the game. It really changes the game. I think it's one of the best aspects of the game because you can see coming out right here all the elevation that we have, and that really doesn't give you a good picture of how much elevation is actually in this game. And just climbing allowed them to change the game, put a lot of elevation in it. It's not all flat, and you can really just go about anywhere you want to in the game.
And how about this? We've talked a little bit about already some of the throwbacks to the original Legend of Zelda, but how about the very first character that we're going to meet in this game is just the old man, and that's such a great throwback to the very first Legend of Zelda, where right off the bat we meet the old man in the cave. I really like that little touch that they threw in here, and I think a big part of this game, they did want to get back to that roots of exploration a little bit and things like that, the really more open world. And so having a nice little callback like the old man being the first character we meet, I really liked that.
And I think you call it the Central Plateau. It's actually the Great Plateau. So I know somebody correct you if I don't correct you right there. But one thing is, I think they kind of misled some people. They said it's going to be a completely open world as soon as you jump out of here. We're actually contained in a little area. The Great Plateau is where we're contained at. But the thing is, the area is so huge. It doesn't really feel like you're contained at all, or that's a starting area. It by itself feels almost like a complete and whole Zelda game, just because the map is so huge. But we'll do a couple things. We'll get an item, and we'll actually get off of this area pretty quickly in the game.
I think we spend about just a couple hours, if that, here on the Central Plateau, and obviously that's a ton of parts. And
you can you can actually run through it very fast. I think more where the time comes from is just exploring, running around, grabbing items. In Red, that's one thing that you are a lot better at than I am. That's one thing that's going to kill me. Getting items in this game is so important, and I just do not take the time to do it. And it's already causing me some frustration later on in the game.
You really have to in this game, and you'll see me kind of go out of my way and climbing trees to collect this stuff. It's you can carry, I'm pretty sure, as much of these ingredients as you want to. So for me, I'm always about collecting as much of it as I can, just to cook up the potions and elixirs, just so we can restore health. Because as we mentioned, man, some of the damage that enemies do can leave you down with a half a heart, or right off the bat. Yeah. So it's always good to have these ingredients on hand so you can cook up the food. Or if you haven't cooked them, I believe you can still eat things like the apples and still get at least a half a heart or something like that.
Well, I didn't even know that baked apple is actually better for you than a real apple, but I learned that from watching. This is going to be the interesting thing. I learned that from your playthrough. The one thing that's going to be cool about this game is everybody's going to take their own unique way and do the game their own, just how they want to do it. I think it's going to add to a lot of good stories, because there's already things that you've done or gotten that I actually missed, and you don't really. Yeah, okay, people always miss things in Zelda games, but for the most part, because it's overall pretty linear, except for a couple of games like Link to the Past, the original Legend of Zelda, you could explore a lot, but overall the games are pretty linear. You have to progress through the game. This game you don't, so it's just going to be a lot of different ways that people do it. I think it's going to be really exciting and make the game very fun.
I'm just concerned about how much stuff I'm going to miss, to be honest. How many little tucked away treasure chests or places to explore that I'm going to miss, just because it isn't linear and the world is so huge. And we'll get into a lot of high places so you can really look around and see where everything is. But it will be a struggle to always wonder what else could I explore. You'll see me do a little bit of exploring in these first couple parts that kind of drags it out a little bit, our time here on the Great Plateau. But it's just it's always that sense of, what am I missing? What am I missing? It makes you want to go after every single treasure chest that's out there.
It's we kind of talked about, yes, it's an awesome game, and thank you Nintendo for making it, but the game, especially at first, and it's only been out a week and I still kind of feel this way, it can be a little bit overwhelming at times, because it's just so large and there's so much to do. And kind of like you said, you're going to miss things, but I guess what I've had, like I said, man, we're complaining a lot more than I thought we would already. Like I said, it's kind of like having a fight with my wife right now. But, you wouldn't get every item, and you're not going to. But then like the issue comes about like when you actually need an item. Like we talked about the hearts, rupees are definitely not as easy to come by in this game.
No,
it's
not.
items like that we're used to having from jars and stuff. Like where the formula switched, and now we got to go around and find all these things. And while I do love the change of formula and like how they made the game different, it can at times get frustrating, but that's okay.
It really is, and like I'm someone who's fairly used to open world games. I mean, like playing like the Witcher games, and you've played the Grand Theft Auto games, which are huge open worlds. It's just so we're used.
They're not
to
this
kind
big
of
though.
Not this big, but we're used to dealing with having a giant map that's you can go anywhere, do what basically do whatever you want and explore. And it does have its upside. Like I love like when you find mysteries that you didn't expect to find. Or you find a treasure chest that's tucked away somewhere that you were just randomly poking around, and you found it. It's just that aspect of the open world is something that I do really appreciate.
Yeah. One thing I love is getting like a familiar sight right there, like with the Temple of Time, and then we also get a little backstory from the old man on it. But anyways, let's go ahead and wrap up part 1 of our Breath of the Wild.